This is a video tutorial to explain how you import a cone beam CT into Dolphin Imaging and how you generate a pan and Ceph from this cone beam CT. So you want to open up your patient's profile, go to this left-hand folder and click on 3D. You're going to go down to Import New DICOM. And the first thing you want to do is go to the UNC Radiology Cone Beam CT database server. It might be different on each computer, but the IP address is // dentistry st1. Once you locate that server, you're going to want to type in the patient's name, it'll pull up everything that matches that description. Open the folder and click on any one of these files. Any one will suffice. And Dolphin Imaging will start to import all of these DICOM CBCT slices. On a good day, this could take about 30 seconds. On a slow day with a lot of noise, it could take longer. So if I've already imported this in, and it's going to speed up the process, and Dolphin's going to upload it for me. So the first step you're going to want to do is, once you've uploaded, to click on orientation. And so once you click on the orientation, the objective is to orient the head to a Frankfurt natural position. Move this reference plane up and down until it matches orbitality, right and left. Use these keys in the bottom here to tilt the head. And the objective is to tilt the head so that right and left orbitality are aligned. Once you have it where you want it, you're going to go to the right profile and align porion and orbitality. And this is a pretty good image because I've already done a lot of that gross orientation previously. When radiology does this for you, you're going to find out it's a little bit off and you're going to need to tweak with this a little bit more. When I'm happy with the Frankfurt orientation of porion and orbitality, I'm going to click on this top facing down tab and orient Cristogali to the middle of foramen magnum. If I'm happy with the orientation, to save it, I'm going to click OK. And then to make sure you really save it, you're going to click Send Snapshot, Save to Dolphin Layout Database. Unless you do this step, it won't save the oriented position. You can pick any one of these tabs. I typically picked one of these X-ray buttons on the right. Click Save, and it will import that image into Dolphin. When you're done saving the correctly oriented cone beam to natural head and Frankfurt position, you're going to click on Build X-rays. When you click on Build X-ray, the first thing that comes up is this segmentation window. You can slide the rulers right to left to clean up the image. I'm going to tell you it's typically better to make the soft tissue segmentation a little bit noisier. It's better to be here than to be here. The same thing applies to the skull, and we'll get to that in a second. So once I'm done picking my 3D segmentation, I'm going to generate a pan and a Ceph. So let's generate the pan first. Click on the panoramic. The first thing is to pick the range in the feel of the panoramic. So you want to go above the condyle, even above orbitality, so that you include all of the head of the condyle. You want to go below the chin to cover all of the structures below menton. And this red line should be in the middle, ideally at the same level of the occlusal plane. So a patient that has a very steep occlusal plane, you might want to generate a new natural head position or a new head position in which this red reference plane matches the occlusal plane. Once you're done generating that, you're going to go to this lower bar or box and generate the focal trough. I'm not happy with it, so I'll click redo. And the idea is to go around the fossa of the teeth and make sure you generate enough focal trough and cover enough of the condyle. The typical focal trough that I like is around 15 to 17 millimeters. Okay? Click apply, and the software will generate your 2D panoramic film from this 3D cone beam CT. And so one of the things you can see is I didn't cover the right condyle enough. Well, that's easy fix. Go to this ball and red ball and drag it further, and I'm just going to do that as an extra precaution on both sides. Click apply again. And it'll generate a new pan for me. Okay. So now let me show you what happens when you narrow that focal trough. If you go down to maybe 11, and 10, apply, what you start to see is that the software creates little artifacts. These artifacts show up as big lucencies here on the image. And so again, we're going to go back to about 15 to 17, apply, and when we do that, the lucencies goes away. When you're happy with that image, to save it, click Send Snapshot, Save to Dolphin Layout Database. The software should automatically pick the panoramic tab. That's the second one from the left. If it doesn't, double click on that and click Save, and it'll save that. Once you're done generating the panoramic film, you want to generate the lateral cephalometric film. You want to click on the Option button here. This lets you generate the rulers. I typically like the tick bar over the 100 millimeter bar. I like the left location rather than the right. It'll usually save the default of the last user. Probably the more important button to click is orthogonal versus perspective. Perspective makes the Ceph matches 2D cephalometric film. Orthogonal is more true one-to-one biology, but you can't use the historic 2D norms. So click perspective, click OK. And once I'm there, I'll go back and talk about what I talked about earlier, the segmentation window. If I make this segmentation clean, where I see the teeth well, and I see the orbit well, when I generate a Ceph from that clean segmentation, what's going to happen is that the bone that are very thin aren't going to appear. And you can see that. The teeth show up really well. It's a good contrast. But you really don't see sella. You really don't see basion. You really don't see A and S. So again, the trick is to make the segmentation include enough of the teeth, but not make it too noisy like this. Have enough noise around the teeth, but have enough noise around the skull so that you can see thinner bones like sella Now I'm going to apply this. And now you can see Cella shows up better, A point shows up better. Again, to save it, send snapshot, save to Dolphin Layout database, and it should automatically kick it there to the Ceph film. So that's all there is to generating a pan in Ceph, orienting your cone beam CT into Frankfurt horizontal position. Again, you have to play with this to get familiar and to master it.